This morning, a 72-year-old man passed away quietly in his home. He wasn't sick and he wasn't in the hospital. He simply began his day with a few habits he thought were harmless. But those small choices had quietly built up over time, slowly pushing his health toward the edge. The truth is, mornings carry more weight than we realize, especially after 70. What you do or don't do in those first few minutes can affect your heart, your brain, and even your safety. In this video, we'll walk through 5 common morning mistakes that many seniors make, often without realizing the risk. They might seem small, but each one has been linked to an increased chance of falls, heart attacks, strokes, or long-term decline. Stay with me until the end, because these aren't just health tips, they're wake-up calls. And changing even one of them might just keep you around longer and stronger for the people who love you. Let's begin. Mistake 1. Skipping hydration right after waking up. One of the most dangerous things you can do in the morning is forget to drink water. After a full night's rest, your body wakes in a mild state of dehydration. Your blood is a little thicker, your organs are working harder to function, and your heart has to pump through all of that without support. Especially after 70, when your kidneys and cardiovascular system aren't as forgiving. This habit can quietly raise your risk for stroke, heart attack, or even sudden dizziness that could lead to a fall. Think of Carl, 75, who always made his way to the coffee pot first thing each morning. He'd pour himself a strong cup, sit quietly, and begin his day. But one morning, he stood up too fast and collapsed. At first, his family blamed the caffeine. But later, his doctor explained that the real problem was he hadn't had a drop of water since the night before. His blood pressure dipped, his blood had thickened, and his heart was straining. That morning, his body just couldn't keep up. Drinking a glass of water within 10 to 15 minutes of waking helps restore fluid balance, kickstart your metabolism, and protect your heart. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just plain, room temperature water. And if you take medication in the morning, that water helps your pills absorb better and reduces strain on your stomach and kidneys. If water isn't part of your morning yet, or if coffee or juice is the only thing touching your lips before noon, it's time to rethink that pattern. Because every cell in your body, especially your heart and brain, depends on hydration to function. And what you do in the first 5 minutes of your morning can quietly shape how many more mornings you get to enjoy. Mistake 2. Getting out of bed too quickly. It's something many people do without thinking, especially in the morning, but it quietly increases your risk of serious injury. After lying still for hours, your blood pressure naturally dips, and your circulation slows. The moment you swing your legs over the edge of the bed and stand up too quickly, your body doesn't always adjust in time. That dizzy spell, momentary blackout, or feeling of unsteadiness, it's not just aging, it's your body struggling to stabilize. And for many older adults, this one habit leads to a fall that changes everything. Take Raymond, 78. Every morning, he'd open his eyes, sit up, and stand within seconds. For years, it worked, till one morning he stood up too fast, lost his balance, and hit his head on the corner of a dresser. He spent 2 nights in the hospital, not because he was sick, but because his body didn't have time to adjust. The diagnosis? Orthostatic hypotension. His blood pressure dropped too quickly when he stood up, and his body couldn't catch up. And yet, it was entirely preventable. After 70, your body needs a few extra seconds to recalibrate. Taking a minute to sit up slowly, stretch, and dangle your legs over the edge of the bed helps your blood circulate. Placing your hands on your thighs and breathing deeply before standing gives your heart and brain the time they need to catch up. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And it can be the difference between a calm morning and a 911 call. If you've ever felt lightheaded when standing and brushed it off as just being tired, it's time to listen more carefully. Your body is warning you, and when you honor that warning with a little patience, you buy yourself more strength, more stability, and more years of independence. That first move of the morning doesn't have to be risky. It can be slow, intentional, and steady. And that daily choice might be the one that keeps you standing tall for many years to come. Mistake 3. Ignoring early signs of chest discomfort or shortness of breath. There's something deeply human about brushing off discomfort, especially first thing in the morning. You wake up with some tightness in your chest or feel winded just walking to the kitchen. And you tell yourself it's probably nothing. But for people over 70, those morning symptoms are often not just tiredness, they're early warnings, and the hours right after waking up are when your heart is under the most stress. Your blood is thicker, your pressure is rising, and your body is transitioning from rest to movement. That's why heart attacks, strokes, and breathing crises tend to happen more often in the morning than any other time of day. Take Glenn, 72. He woke up one day with mild chest discomfort and pain, just a strange pressure. He made toast, had some tea, and thought it would pass. But within an hour, that pressure turned into shortness of breath. By the time help arrived, he was already slipping into cardiac arrest. Glenn survived, but barely. When doctors reviewed his case, they said what so many families hear too late. If only he'd called an hour earlier. After 70, you have to think differently. Your body still works, but it whispers. That odd chest sensation, the unusual fatigue, the shortness of breath, those aren't annoyances to ignore. They're early alarms, and if you respond to them quickly, you give your body a chance to recover before it's too late. Morning symptoms aren't something to wait out, because in many cases, time lost is life lost. If you ever feel chest heaviness, arm or shoulder pressure, or breathlessness just moving around the house, don't chalk it up to sleep or stress. Take it seriously. Breathe slowly. And if it doesn't go away, call someone. Listening to your body isn't overreacting, it's survival. And that tiny moment of awareness might just save your life. Mistake 4. Taking medications on an empty stomach without checking. Many older adults begin the day with a familiar routine: reach for the pill box, take medications, and move on. But one of the most common and risky mistakes after 70 is taking certain medications without food. Not all pills are meant to be absorbed on an empty stomach. Some irritate the stomach lining, others cause a drop or spike in blood pressure, and a few just don't work properly without food to help them absorb. The danger isn't in the medication, it's in the timing and how your body handles it. Think about Alice, 74. She took her blood pressure medicine each morning, just as instructed, but she often skipped breakfast or delayed eating. Over time, she started experiencing dizzy spells around 8 or 9 a.m. One morning, she lost her balance in the bathroom and hit her shoulder. At the hospital, doctors asked when she last ate before taking her pills. That was the moment it all clicked. Her empty stomach and blood pressure meds were causing her pressure to drop too fast. This story isn't rare. Many medications, especially for blood pressure, cholesterol, thyroid, or pain, behave differently depending on your stomach. Even if you've taken them for years, your body's ability to process them changes with age. What worked at 60 may not work the same at 75. That's why reading the instructions, asking your pharmacist, or reviewing your meds with your doctor regularly is so important. Sometimes, just a banana, a piece of toast, or a few crackers can help stabilize you. And if your meds truly need to be taken on an empty stomach, it's even more important to stay still, avoid rushing, and monitor how you feel. Because managing your health isn't just about what you take, it's about how you take it. Respecting that balance might protect you from complications you never saw coming. Mistake 5. Skipping a proper breakfast or relying only on caffeine. The final mistake many older adults makes, sometimes with the best intentions, is starting the day with just a cup of coffee or skipping breakfast entirely. It might seem harmless, especially if you're not hungry in the morning. But after 70, the stakes are higher. Your body is more sensitive to blood sugar dips. Your muscles need steady fuel. Your brain depends on nutrients to stay alert and calm. When you skip that first energy boost, the impact shows up fast. Dizziness, weakness, irritability, even confusion. Think about Ruth, 76. She loved quiet mornings with coffee, but rarely ate a full breakfast. Over time, she felt more tired on her morning walks. One day, she tripped on a sidewalk crack and brushed it off. But at her checkup, her doctor found signs of muscle loss, low vitamins, and early blood sugar imbalance. It wasn't caused by disease, it was from skipping nutrition every morning. Caffeine gives the illusion of energy, but without real food, it can mask fatigue, increase anxiety, and lead to a crash. It also makes medication side effects worse. You don't need a heavy meal, just something small with protein, fiber, and healthy fat. A boiled egg, toast, yogurt, fruit. That first bite tells your body, I'm here, and I want to be well. When you fuel your brain and muscles, you move better, think better, and reduce your risk of falls or lapses that could hurt you. So, if your routine is just coffee and silence, it's time to reconsider, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your body has changed. And it needs steady care to keep giving you steady strength. By now, you've seen how small morning habits can lead to big consequences. After 70, your body is still capable, but more sensitive. What you do in those first few minutes can set the tone for the rest of the day and your future health. Skipping water, rushing out of bed, ignoring symptoms, taking meds without food, or skipping breakfast. None of them seem dangerous in the moment, but they can slowly wear you down or open the door to serious problems. The good news, every one of these mistakes is preventable. You don't need drastic change, just small, thoughtful shifts. And these aren't just health rules. They're acts of self-respect. When you hydrate, you're telling your heart, I've got your back. When you rise slowly, you're telling your brain, take your time. When you listen to discomfort, you're telling your body, I'm paying attention. And when you eat something nourishing, you're saying, I still want to be here for me, for the people I love, for every morning still to come. So ask yourself, which of these habits have crept into your routine? Which one could you change tomorrow? You don't need to fix everything, just begin with care. Because mornings matter. They speak for your body. They shape your day. And sometimes, they speak for how many more days you get to have.